Well, welcome to our first Friday talk. Fridays at 2. We're going to be interviewing different folks who can help our farmers and our food businesses make more money. And so today, our first person who we're going to interview is Jennifer Ferre. She is leading the Western North Carolina AgOptions program of the North Carolina Tobacco Trust Fund. And I've had the pleasure to work on Tobacco Trust Fund grants for the past few years, and I really love the process of reviewing applications because farmers are really coming up with some very unique ways to diversify their funding to stay in business and increase profits. And so I think Jennifer will agree with me that it's just really a fun process to read these applications. And the purpose of this interview today is to give the folks we're working with in Western North Carolina an idea about the application process and what they should know about as they prepare. So with that, welcome Jennifer. Thanks so much for making time on a Friday afternoon to join Empowering Mountain Food Systems Live Facebook.
Pleasure to be here.
Great, fantastic. So I know you've been with AgOptions for the past 10 years, so you've seen a lot. Can we just start by, can you explain the origins of the Western North Carolina AgOptions program?
Absolutely. We started in 2004. And at that time, the agricultural landscape in Western North Carolina was changing, with a lot of farmers moving away from tobacco farming. Leaders in the region saw an opportunity to help farmers expand, diversify, try new innovative methods, all to help the farms keep sustainable, keep those farms and keep the farmland farming and keep our farms sustainable and healthy. So an opportunity came available from the North Carolina Tobacco Trust Fund Commission, which was one of the organizations that was created after the master settlement between the tobacco companies in the states. So they were created to distribute some of that money throughout North Carolina. So the opportunity, the leaders applied for a grant that turned into mini grants going out to farmers in Western North Carolina for our Western North Carolina AgOptions program as it became known. So since 2004, we've given out over 600 grants totaling more than $3 million that has gone to small family farms throughout Western North Carolina. Our program is a program of North Carolina Cooperative Extensions. It is managed fiscally from WNC Communities, which is a rural and agricultural economic development organization based out of Asheville in Buncombe County. And we're led by a steering committee, which is predominantly members of North Carolina Cooperative Extension, with other leaders in agriculture on our steering committee as well. They make the decisions and operate the program.
Fantastic. So who is eligible? What are the key eligibility requirements so that folks know going into this if they're eligible this year, or perhaps they need to take some other steps to be eligible in future years?
Sure. So first of all, you've got to be a North Carolina resident, and your project needs to, your project and you need to be located within one of the counties that we represent. We follow the footprint of the West District of North Carolina Cooperative Extension. So that's 21 counties plus the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians, and your project must be in there. The Tobacco Trust Fund does also offer programs through some other initiatives called Ag Ventures, and I can provide information if you're not in one of our counties. I'm going to show a map later on that shows which counties are in that footprint. But we fund farm businesses, so we are assuming that the farms that we are supporting are selling something of a good service experience. And we really do target family farms. And when I say family farms, what I mean is it's a farm where the family predominantly holds the financial responsibility, takes the risks, and is providing a majority of the business decisions for the farm. We do not farm nonprofit organizations, schools, or corporately owned farms.
Sorry, Jennifer. So is there a time limit? Like, folks can't be just starting out. Do they have to show some record of existing farm income to be eligible?
So priority is given in our scoring process to folks who have been farming longer, to folks who can provide proof that you're a legitimate farm business. So there are different questions on the application that will ask, do you file a Schedule F or a Schedule C to the IRS? Do you have a Farm Service Agency number? That being said, you do not have to do that. We are targeting farms that are in it for making money, so not hobby farms. There's nothing wrong with that, but we are looking to farm businesses. I have to say that a majority of the farms we fund are farm businesses and are established farms. However, every once in a while, there is a newer startup that can show in the application process that they've got the experience and business planning abilities to have a successful project. And every once in a while, we will fund one of those.
Fantastic.
Yep.
So you mentioned scoring. Can you talk a little bit about how applicants are scored?
Yeah, so it's basically a numeric scoring system that we have. And in the application, which is not a very complicated application, we have it kind of separated into two sections. One section, again, gives priority to certain folks based on a scoring system. So if you do have a Farm Service Agency number, you'll get a little priority. If you get 50% of your overall income from your farm, you'll get a little bit of a priority in the form of extra points. The longer you've been farming, you will get priority in the form of other points. If you are a current or former tobacco farmer, you're going to get a little bit of priority in our process. Then the second part of the application is really you telling us what your project is, your business plan, your experience, your resources that you have to do the project, and that will be scored based on the questions in a numeric system. The stronger the answer that you can show, the higher the score. So overall, applications are scored, you get a number. We have a team of reviewers that reviews each application, so it's not just one person's opinion. Depending on how many applications we get and how many reviewers we have, anywhere from 4 to 6 different people will be reviewing and scoring your application. The scores are averaged, and those are the primary basis for our decision making.
Great. Thank you, Jennifer. What is the role of the extension agent?
So as I mentioned, we are a program of cooperative extension. So part of the process in the application is that you will partner with your county's local ag agent. So if you have already been working with cooperative extension and you've got that relationship, that's great. That person will be there to help you. If you haven't, that's okay too. If you don't know who your agent is, you can contact me and I'll be showing you that contact information and I'll help you get in touch with them. But the reason we do that is they're going to be a partner in your application. They can provide you feedback on your application. That is going to help the reviewers help you in your application be as strong as possible. We call them your cooperating agent, and they will also submit an assessment of your project that will have an effect on your score as well. So if at the end of this presentation and looking at our resources on our website that you decide you do want to apply for an AgOptions grant, your first step is going to be to contact your local county ag agent by October 23rd is our intent to apply deadline.
Thank you. Yes, and as I've mentioned, I've been a reviewer, and I do know it's very, very important for the reviewers to see the role that the applicant has with their agent, because the agent can continue to support the project outside of just this application. So AgOptions gives you that opportunity, if you haven't already been working with your local agent, to get to know them and the resources that they have for you. So it's a great idea all around, and really, I think I would say a strong, very strong preference in your application process.
Yeah, we want your project to be successful. So in order to give you all of the benefit of that, the ag agent is going to be an awesome resource for you.
Great. What are some of the types of projects that you can share with us that maybe stand out to you from the past couple of years?
Yeah, so what's great about the Ag Options program is we pretty much fund any sort of project that's related to agriculture on a farm. So that could be anything from, you know, heritage breed livestock to expansion programs with fruits and vegetables, specialty crops like microgreens, hemp, value-added projects. We do cheeses, we do ciders, we've funded marketing materials to help boost the visibility of your farm. Beekeeping, Christmas trees, you name it. In fact, every project that we've ever funded is listed on our website, and you can go to our website and search by county, by year, to see the types of projects that we do fund. We've had some really interesting and unique projects. One of the missions of Ag Options is to, you know, our goals are really to get resources directly into the hands of farmers who are looking to strengthen their farms. We want to provide you with the help, like Laura was saying, get in touch with your ag agents, marketing specials, business planning people. But one of the other things too is demonstration. We really love to see projects that have the potential to be replicated by others and to help inform the rest of the agricultural community. So it's really great to see that there's some unique projects out there. Some ones I had talked about before when I was preparing for this is we have a small rice project in McDowell County where they're producing rice. We've had ginseng projects in Watauga County. There's a sheep dairy that we have funded in Madison County. And then a lot of our Ag Options grantees find unique niches in the market. There's a Buncombe County farmer who's doing unique root crops like ginger and turmeric, and growing specialty herbs like pineapple sage and lemon basil for the brewing industry. So just kind of a unique mix of projects. And again, helping provide that small grant that might help you get to that next level, get you ahead by a couple years in your business plan.
Great, thank you. So what, you might mention what the amount of funding is.
Yeah, so this year we have $216,000 to give. And we do that in the form of $3,000 and $6,000 grants. So based on the budget of your proposed project, that would be how much you ask for. And that usually translates, we've got 21 counties, 22 counting the Eastern Band, $216,000 translates anywhere about 35 to 40 projects we fund every year. In 2020, it was 40. 2019, it was 38. So depending on how many $3,000 and how many $6,000 grants are granted, that's how much it breaks up to.
Are projects required to have a cost share?
So we do. We require a 10% match, which isn't much. So all that means is if you do apply for a $3,000 grant, your budget will need to be at least $3,300. And should you receive the grant, at the end of the grant cycle, we'll just need to see that you spent at least $3,300. And for a $6,000 grant, that would be $6,600. So it's not a lot. And I have to say, most of our projects' budgets exceed that 10%. But it's a small amount of match for that provides to show the reviewers in our steering committee that you're putting a little bit into it as well.
So what counts as match? Does it have to be cash?
It is.
Labor?
It is.
Okay.
Again, so if you're applying for a $3,000 grant, we just want to see at the end of the cycle that you spent $3,300 on that minimum.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
What kind of reporting requirements should applicants be aware of?
So that's a good question. We try to keep this streamlined and as simple as possible, but we will, at the end of the year, require some simple expense forms, some simple income forms. We do need proof that you spent the grant money, so we'll need copies of receipts that show that you spent the $3,300 or the $6,600. There's a state form that needs to be filled out, and then I have a survey that I like to get the AgOptions grantees to fill out that helps get data for me in my reporting so that I can report back to Tobacco Trust Fund so that we can keep getting funded so we can keep giving these grants out.
Are there opportunities for your staff or reviewers to go visit the farms?
Absolutely. So part of the requirements for a grantee is that at least one time during the grant cycle year, a member of AgOptions and your ag agent will come to your farm just to do a farm visit. We like to see your progress. We can provide questions. And we can answer questions and we can document and take pictures. So yeah, sometimes it's a group of folks that like to come and we just kind of do a little farm tour, and it's really interesting for everybody. And what's really great about that is, and this is one of the benefits of our AgOptions program, is it's a way to network and it's a way to find out about other resources, and it's a great way. We will put over these last 14 or so years that we've been operating, we've created this amazing network of resources for our grantees. So not only will you be getting the benefit of some money to help reduce risk in your venture, we're going to give you some support so that we can help you be as successful as possible, and that's part of it.
Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, we met at Empowering Mountain Food Systems. We also have a small grant program, and when you invited me to the meeting making awards, I met two operations that we were in turn able to support.
Yeah.
So it is a really good networking opportunity, and I think a great way for other farmers also to learn innovations that are happening in the community. I saw a lot of cross collaboration and talking among farmers when they would learn about each other's projects. So it is a wonderful kind of community building process. Can you describe the requirements as far as applying more than once for funding?
That's a great question. So you are eligible to receive up to 3 AgOptions grants. And in the course of our operation since 2004, we have had about 10 farmers receive up to 3. So what that means is we give priority to folks who have never received a grant before, but we do give past grantees the opportunity to apply again, noting that you will have a point deduction on your application because of that. Again, trying to give priority to those who've never received one before, but you do get an opportunity to gain back some of those points. You have some extra questions on the application to tell us how your past project went, to gain some of those back. And with the strong application, and depending on how many overall applications we get in every year, about 20 to 30% of our applicants are former grantees. So it can be done. And that also provides you an opportunity to maybe build on a past success and show that a little more money is going to help you get going. So your grant, again, is your opportunity to show us what you're going to do and how that can be helpful all around. Even if your project doesn't work out exactly as you thought it did, that's okay too. We consider that learning, and the more information that we can get that can inform other farmers is important too. So it's not necessarily that everything goes as you always plan. We understand that that doesn't, but again, it's about giving you the opportunity to try something that you may not have been able to do without the grant.
Right. And that's where extension can come in as well and say, hey, this might be a little risky, consider this element to reduce your risk a little bit to be sure that you're successful. So
yeah, it's a great way to vet your project to make sure that it's strong as it can be.
Great. Well, we are wrapping up. I know you have a visual to share, Jennifer, so we will do screen share now to show that.
So what you're seeing here is our footprint. So if you are in one of these counties that are showing up here, great, you're eligible for an Ag Options grant. If you are not, I'm sorry, but that still, send me an email there at the WNC AgOptions at wncommunities.org, and I will help put you in contact with another program that might be similar to ours if you're not in one of those counties. Important deadlines to keep ahead. The intent to apply. So again, if you're interested in this program, make sure you let your county extension agent who is familiar with our program know by October 23rd. The applications will be due on November 20th. And all of the guidelines that I've gone over, more detail, the application, and there's also a 1-hour recorded presentation where I kind of talk about the whole program and go through the entire application. That is available online for viewing at the WNCAgOptions.org website.
Fantastic. And we'll be sure to share that link for that hour-long guidance with our program participants from today and beyond. So I didn't see any questions in the chat, but we do have a couple of folks who have joined us. This is a good time to ask some questions. If you want to type it in the chat, I'm not sure if we can verbally hear you, but I know that if you type a question in your chat box, which is at the bottom of your screen, if you hover your little mouse on the bottom of your Zoom screen and hit the chat box, you can type a question there. Or you can try to unmute yourself and ask a question. We're not sure if we have that ability or not. So does anybody who's with us have any questions? Candace, I see you unmuted for a moment. Would you like to ask a question, Candy?
I was just checking to see how my mute button worked.
Well, you are live on Facebook.
Okay.
Now she's nervous.
I just want to say I think this is a great program. I don't have a question, but it's wonderful, and I'm glad to be a participant today.
Well, I hope y'all will apply. Candace and her husband are running Durham Farm, and they are trying to start small-scale meat processing, which we definitely need in the region. So. I think that's a great need, and I think it would get a lot of attention. So we certainly hope you'll consider applying.
Hey, you're going to do it.
Thank you. We will.
Okay, fantastic. So the first step, of course, is to reach out to your agent. I know we have a couple of polls to do. We want to make sure that we're doing a good job and that we are serving you. So Lauren is going to pull up a quick poll about our newsletter. So if you can just fill out that poll, that would be great.
Okay, is there any way to unmute that again to go back? Good.
Can you hear us?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
We have a question for you, if you don't mind.
Of course.
We are in the far west. We're in Cherokee County. When we moved back to North Carolina, I believe it was in 2010, we decided after a couple of years that we would establish family property that we had into a legitimate farm. We do have the FSA number and all of that. I believe it was in 2013 we started actively working with our local extension agent, and were able to grow, I believe, in the AgOptions Center down in Marble. I'm sure Jennifer is familiar with that center.
Yes.
We grew in there for a couple of cycles, and we have our own land where we do produce. My husband, unfortunately, was ill. We went through a treatment program for about 5 years. So we have built up, chicken, egg production. We had farm animals for people to stop by and all that sort of stuff. We had fruits, vegetables, those kind of things. And unfortunately, we had to close out. We had to sell the animals, all of that. This year, we decided that we would try to start back and add some different products to what we had been growing previously. And we were just curious if we are in that reestablishment stage. Is that going to hurt or help us in this process if we decide to apply?
So because you have experience and you've farmed before, that's all going to be good reflection on your application. So I would say if you have a particular project in mind, I think it would be worth exploring if this was for you, because you'll have an opportunity in the application to talk a little bit about your past experience. And that all counts towards this. And I think you've got a good story too. You know, you're wanting to start back up. I think that fits right in with our mission, and I think you have potential for a application. Absolutely.
Okay, Jennifer.
Equipment.
This year we did small plot test planting of, in particular, flowers. We had thought previously about trying to touch base with local florists, wedding venues, that sort of stuff, because we already have some existing larger product lines that could be used for weddings, that sort of stuff.
We actually sold some too.
Yes, we did this year. But,
we funded 2 cut flower projects in 2020.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was what this was. We had, I believe, 4 plots of different varieties of flowers. And we also got in the ground probably a couple of months ago, chestnuts, which I know for a period of time went out of circulation. They were very difficult to get. So we were able to find actually only 3, but we added those to, we have fruit trees and blueberries, that sort of stuff. We did sunflowers, which did well until the birds decided to utilize those more than we did. We did have problems with the rain, that sort of stuff. And of course, with COVID this year, even though we are on a very high trafficked area, and Jennifer, we met you years ago, actually.
I think I do remember you.
We helped Rochelle Clark, Nantahala Farms, with their open house.
Yes.
My husband cooked, and I helped with that. So we met you then. And we were just starting at that point. And of course, we, talk to Rochelle all the time. And she's aware. We are on Junaluska Road going up toward the lake. So what we were hoping is that if we did the flowers, in addition to trying to get with some local florists, wedding venues, that sort of stuff.
Restaurants too.
We do sell, actually this year I did sell some products to one local restaurant in particular. And they're very good if I go in there about buying whatever we have, available. So we've had contact like that.
Yeah, and I can tell just from this conversation that you have the elements that are going to be in the application. So I would definitely get a hold of Keith. Have you worked with Keith Wood?
Oh, yes.
Actually, yeah,
yes.
I tried to call him earlier. He's on vacation this week, and because we have problems finding this particular session online.
Sure.
And
I'd be happy to talk with you if you want to call me. I'm happy to talk with you one-on-one too.
Okay.
If you would like to do that, I'm more than willing to do that.
Yeah. Doug Clement, I spoke with him this week. So yeah,
that's great.
Awesome. We did this once before, sorta, but we got to the point that I'm not even sure we actually applied for the full-time grant, but this year, because I think even though this is a tough year, I think maybe it's time, and we need equipment is what we need. So I'll just stop at that. So I greatly appreciate your time, and we'll touch base with Keith in the next week or so.
Perfect. I look forward to seeing how that comes.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Well, thank you again, Jennifer. It's been wonderful to talk to you, and I know that you love your work and love working with our Western North Carolina farmers. It's just a dream job to help people's farm projects come true. So I look forward to being on the review team. And again, would love to refer folks to you. We will post this video so that folks can revisit it. And we'll also share your 1-hour guide through the application. And so with that, if there's no other questions, we're going to wrap up for today. We will be sending out an evaluation poll to the folks who participated. It's very important that we hear from you about your experience today and how other ways that we can serve you. So thank you again. This is the first in a series, and we'll look forward to seeing you next Friday. I believe we've got a slide promoting our series next week. Candace, did you have a question?
Yes, I do. My question that I have is that we file the Farm F form, but she had talked about what is the Farm Service Agency number. What is that, to see if I have that?
So you can check with your county ag agent and they'll give you more information, but chances are if you are on a farm that's been farming before, you have one. So you'll get a hold of your county agent or your local farm service agency, and they'll be able to look it up and let you know. And if you don't have one, you can get one. It's super easy.
Thank you.
Yep.
All righty. So next week, we'll be talking with Sherry Rains of the Cherokee Chamber of Commerce. We are working with them on an agritourism support program for Cherokee, Graham, and Clay counties. So that's very exciting. Agritourism is a really important element of the work that we're doing in the region. So thank you again, Jennifer. And I know that you'll be in touch with the folks who are on the call today, and we'll just keep up the good work of promoting your good work. So thank you
so much for the opportunity.
All righty. Bye, everybody.